Hello, Swivel Heads. It's Greg Allison. We're going live here. We're going to try to catch the president's address. So we're going to see what they're covering here. They haven't started yet. It is the top of the hour that they're supposed to be going live on us. I'm going to have to pull up my account here. View channel. Give me a second, guys. So we are live, and we don't know what he's going to talk about tonight entirely. There's some speculation about it. But given the backdrop of everything going on with the conflict in Venezuela, it's going to be hard for me to imagine he's going to have an address to the nation without talking about Venezuela. What do y'all think? Trump is always late. Yeah, he's late. So this was the time it was supposed to start, and we'll have to see. How's everybody doing tonight? Arnold, good to see you in the house. Yeah, I got kind of pressed for time to get all this started up. Anyway, guys, did y'all enjoy the video over on Galactic Gregs? I just did a long video. Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna unmute it.
A mess.
And we're going to share.
And I'm fixing it.
Whoops.
When I took office, inflation
Wow,
was
where
the
the heck's
worst
my
in
screen
48
at?
years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,000.
Y'all hear this? It's kind of low.
Murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country, and it can never be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, crime at record levels, law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world. But they're not laughing anymore. Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history. There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree. I was elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe. But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined. Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities, Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people. And we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages, both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22%, and in many states, 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that the wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs. And that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen. AI, automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally fail. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year. And next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military. And I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military. And last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interest to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, to which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward. And I used the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction. They stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible. It's called Most Favored Nation. And no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, TrumpRx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of healthcare. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people. That's you. So they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower cost. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds, as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see, the numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this, in the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens, 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected, and our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
Wow. Interesting. Interesting. Well, we're doing this on the White House site. I'm sure the other news media will be bleeding all over this quite a bit. So, yes, he was on fire tonight. this is what the text kind of said it would be about from the White House press room. But I was expecting it to say something about Venezuela, given that we're on the precipice of hotter activity there. We've started the uh, blockade, and the blockade is an act of war. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't go more in on that. I'm gonna have to kill the screen behind this. But I'm really surprised that they did not go in more on that discussion. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the chat room in the computer instead of on my phone. I can't look at it on my computer when I'm playing this kind of stuff. That was interesting. So give me a second, guys. I'll put up our chat room. What the heck is talking about there? All right. Very good. Thought it was going to be something with war. Yeah, that's what I expected at first, since we're seeing him on the precipice of war. I thought he'd be coming on and telling us what's coming. Now, the his press secretary did kind of allude this is what the talk was going to be about. I saw that just before it. But I thought, well, surely he will still say something else. But clearly, he was on fire tonight. He was definitely fully alert, and I think he's come out with this because he thinks the news media is maligning him, and that they're constantly attacking everything he's doing, putting everything down. If he had invented ice cream, they'd tell everybody not to eat it. And probably shouldn't eat ice cream, but anyway, that is one of my weaknesses. But that is kind of where I think he's coming from. I believe he was on fire to make his points that he couldn't get through the news media. As Tucker said, he was going to say war. Well, that's what you would think. Yeah, Stray Kitten. I mean, given that we're on the verge of war, you would have thought he would have said something about that, especially coming out with, the address to the nation the way he did. That's pretty big. Other funny things, usually when they come out to talk, you see them walk up onto the microphone. No, they started the video when he was at the microphone speaking. It gave me a little bit of a delay, going through and doing the share. I was surprised by that. It didn't start the way they normally start. Of course, he didn't have any Q&A with any press. And maybe that's part of it. He just was tired of the press, and he wanted to press his points home. Now, I did say in the chat that I was going to talk a little bit about this thing with California. Governor Newsom has made it real difficult for the oil industry there. And Chevron started in San Francisco, almost 150 years ago. Chevron's moving their headquarters out of the state. They're basically leaving the state. Some people even wonder if they're going to keep their stations open. And Newsom tried to beg them and offer them money or bribe them to stay. And they're like, no, no way. We're not staying here. We've had enough of this. We know your games. We're tired of it. And they're having a problem. And two other major oil companies are shutting a lot of stuff down. The refineries are being shut down. And let's see, what was the other companies? The Chevron was one that was pulling out, and I thought I could remember the rest of the companies. I think Phillips 66, they had some major refineries over there, just shut them down. And there's no pipelines going to California. California's almost going to be without gas because of Gavin Newsom. I mean, gas may become kind of a rare thing in California. So you can expect, and that's parts of Arizona will be hurt by that too, because actually some of the pipelines like Phoenix and areas, I hope it's not the case up here in my part of the state, but our part of the state's coming from east of here, not west of here. But, California actually has a lot of petroleum, but they are shutting stuff down, and it's been hard. Once the refinery shut down, I don't know if they can reopen it because it's hard to get refined. We haven't built any new refineries in a long time because the regulations for opening a refinery are off the wall, and it takes probably a decade to do it. It just costs so much money. Another company doesn't want to do it. So when they shut down a refinery, you got a problem. And in California, Governor Newsom want to push everything to electric. So I want to know how many people in California really have electric vehicles already. I bet it's not that much. Valero, thank you. That's right. Jim was Valero. That was what Phillips. and Valero. I heard about Valero. Right. Got that. Got a call on, yeah, Valero. That was one of the companies I was trying to think of. Um, I don't know, Jim. What do you think, Jim Williams? What do you think about all this? Jim Williams III. Uh, yeah, well, we don't worry about the spelling tonight. I know what you meant. I can't halfway spell things half the time myself. So Valero, yeah. So California is going to be looking at some insane gas prices. Now, the funny thing is that Newsom right now is the front runner for, in the polls to become the next nominee for president from the Democratic Party. I wonder how well that's going to hold out with what's about to blow up there in California. So, this is a problem. This is where wokeism takes you. If you put that in charge of a nation, we get in big trouble. And that's been one of the big things that's impacted energy prices under the Biden administration. Biden was trying to ban propane. They really were. The Biden administration wanted to shut down propane. They want to shut down propane stoves, propane heaters, propane, everything. Basically, it wasn't electricity. They don't want you to have it. Which, I'm off grid, I'm on solar. But I'm gonna tell you what, I gotta have propane too, because those batteries just ain't enough at night. I got the batteries are my most expensive part of my solar, and I cannot heat my house with it. I can't cook with it, but very limited, maybe in a microwave, just a few minutes. I can only make coffee in the daytime because it will drain the batteries down 1/3 to a quarter to a third, just making a pot of coffee. Now I've got 24 6-volt golf cart battery cells. I got an enormous battery array. It's very expensive. I've got 9 kilowatts of solar power. In the daytime, if the sun's shining, I can make about anything. If it's cloudy, I got to be real careful what I do. And that's the way it is with everybody on solar. Nobody can afford enough batteries to completely run everything. For the most part, few people can, to run everything off solar. You have to really watch what you do and when you do it when you're on solar. And when you put the whole nation at that, everybody don't see that, but they've either got to come up with other ways to generate power or store power. And solar is just not reliable for base load grid power for an off-grid person like me. But I got backups. I got generators if I need. And I did do that one night. I switched to my generator just because my batteries were low. We got snow coming in. My solar array is so tall, even with a long pole, I won't be able to scrape all the snow off. But with 9 kW, I will still probably have plenty of power, at least during the daylight hours. Maybe even at night. Because the daylight hours, my solar arrays are more than I need. But my batteries are not. The solar arrays were cheap. The batteries were expensive. Everything was cheap compared to the batteries. The batteries were very expensive. I do plan to expand them, but even then, you're going to have to watch. I put charger on my bank on snow on panels. So yeah, I've just got a lot of stuff to watch out. Yeah, I got a wood stove. I've got a wood stove, and I'll be using some, but I also use propane. Propane is convenient. I got to get me some wood. I got plenty of wood out here, but I don't want to burn my own wood right now. For the grid goes down, I want that wood to be there and be available to me, so I don't have to travel. Because I know then traveling is going to be limited, and I'm not getting any younger. So if I got to venture way out and get wood, and the grid's down, and I'm doing it by myself as an old man, which one of these, maybe 100 years from now, I might be an old man. I'm only 65, right? It won't be long till I'm 66. So I got to think ahead. And I don't want to burn all my wood up right now. I'll buy wood initially. But, propane is really convenient to use. So that's what I mostly use. I got a little propane camp stove and oven I just set up so I can actually cook on it. Take a breath. I put a charge on. Yeah. So that's my own on my on this channel. I did that little ditty called Propane, to the tune of cocaine, and that's when Biden was trying to ban propane. And I did that when I was in Alabama. But I knew I was coming out here, and I knew a lot of people were really reliant on propane. Now here, propane is huge. Almost everybody uses it. And people that's got like dryers in their house, you'll find a lot of them use propane dryers. I mean, the controls might be electric, but the heat supplied by propane, hot water, propane. And when you're living off grid, that's what you got to do. This, but if the grid goes down, one of these days you might not be able to you won't be able to buy propane. That's what you got to worry about. That's why I got a wood stove. That's why I got a wood stove. So there's some things that just won't happen. But I'll have power as long as my inverters and charge controllers last. The solar arrays, they'll last forever. The power will degrade over time, but they'll still last for a long, long time. I got such a capacity of solar panels out there. It's probably more than I'll ever need. Batteries, that's another question. Using propane as you speak. Exactly. Got it. Cow patties or desert firewood. There you go. And there's a few around here. But I do have a lot of juniper trees here. And the old ones that have been dead for a long time, that stuff, you take a big old log and stick it on fire, you come back some like 5 minutes later and this doesn't burn up. That stuff burns fast, produces a lot of heat quick, but it burns fast. Man, it's like burning gasoline almost. That stuff is real quick to burn. Now some of the greener stuff might be more stable. Yes, and I am walking the walk, guys. There's a lot of YouTubers that talk about survival. They talk about bugging out. They talk about stuff like that. But that's all they do, talk. Blah, 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 blah. And there's not that many of them that are really doing it. Well, I'm living it, guys. I put my money and my life where my mouth is. Because I think that's, gives me security in my life. I'm not going to kid you. So, I am living it. I have moved to my bug out location and now it's bug in. And that is the bottom line. I built a tiny home. It's easy to heat. I'm in northern Arizona, so cooling is not as big an issue, although during the daytime, I do run a fan downstairs and I don't go upstairs in the summertime in the daytime. It does get hot up there. As long as I got a fan down there, I'm okay. I'm okay. Now, if it got so bad that, I could always, have all the windows and maybe just put a screen on my door up here. Or I might build me a shade spot outside in a hammock. Power goes totally out if I can't run a fan. But, prepper don't get stuck. So, that is one of the downsides here. If it rains, it's clay hills that you got to go up and down to get out of here. And if you get a really good rain, you're stuck here for a bit. The snow can get me stuck here for a bit, but I provide for that. I work from home. I don't have to go somewhere else to work. I do work remotely. I don't know how long that job will last. A lot of the remote work jobs call all the people back into office. And so there's not many jobs in the field I work in that still allows that. In our group, I was in a group of 12 people. We laid 2 people off because we had a funding shortage. If we get into tight and if I get laid off, chances of me getting another job like this are pretty puny. And all I'll have is Social Security at that point in time. Social Security is not that good. It really won't pay all my bills. I'm hoping to pay some bills down when I can get a little cheaper. That's something I'm working on, but I need a job to continue longer to do that. But right now, most of my income is going to paying bills and trying to just get established here. I've got to get the rest of my debt paid down. That stuff is terrible. I did a video over on my Green Grids channel talking about the financial situation we're facing right now in the United States and the rest of the world. I mentioned 8 different factors that can bring our economy down. 8 factors that can make your dollar worthless. That means the Social Security, that's a fixed thing. They raise it once a year. You got crazy inflation. You got to remember in the Weimar Republic, people would work and they let everybody off at lunch so they can run the store and buy stuff before the money got too inflated. Because if they worked 8 hours straight, the first 4 hours money would be worthless. I don't know, they probably gave them a pay raise after lunch. I don't know how they did it. The inflation was insane. And so that's kind of how they did that. If you're on a fixed income, it don't exist. I am looking at trying to put in me a little pulley system where I got a sink over here, and I want to be able to raise some stuff up and downstairs easier. Because I'm thinking upstairs, I'll set up some racks to grow microgreens, and that might, I got to have good access to my sink. And there's a lot of risk just toting a bunch of trays with microgreens and water up and down the stairs. So I'll have me a little dumbwaiter of sorts to move that stuff. So that might allow me to do some things to get some extra income. I do have some worms here. I've got stuff to make a blacksmith shop. I hadn't got it set up. There's some various things I can do to make a little money. I was hoping YouTube would be the backup, but right now I ain't making squat on YouTube. It's terrible. Uh, it's gone to heck so much so I'm thinking that if I get in a real bind, it's taking a lot of my valuable time. And the hope was that it would grow, and I've actually made more money in the past. Right now, I'm making jack diddle. Uh, one time I had hopes that this platform could go somewhere. Right now, my enthusiasm for that is way down. Let's just put it that way. It's platform is really stinking, but that's another topic. That's just another thing. Um, but that's one reason I keep coming back here, hoping it'll turn around. But I don't know. Money going the way of machines, coppers. Copper is something that's going up in value quite a bit. Copper is really shooting up. Now I'm working on a plan. We're building a website to make an offer to people where you can join this program where you can buy stuff like a lot of the stuff you'd buy at Walmart without having to go there. A lot of the chemically contaminated junk they're selling you. This is all from a small family-owned American company, and it is. Hey, we got a super chat tonight. Uh, hey, Brian. Salute to Brian. There you go. That helps. Appreciate. Wow, we got another one. Jim Williams. Rex sent me your way years ago, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you for all the information. Well, salute to you both. Wow, that is awesome. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, that's one thing we haven't been getting a lot of lately over here, but that really helps. That helps. And that's one of the big reasons to go live instead of just doing a video and posting is you hope you get a few super chats every now and then. So that really helps. I appreciate that, guys. And Brian's been known to send me a lot of packages, usually with some funny stuff in it, some good stuff, some always something yummy to eat, and yeah, he's done it from time to time. So usually when I get a package, I like that. I like to open it up live because that's an adventure. Brian's got quite a sense of humor. Bedtime for Bonzo, 3CPO. He's got quite a humor, quite a sense of humor. Anyway, do you have hype enabled? I don't really know what hype is. Some people say they hype me. I don't know quite what that's a new feature I haven't gotten familiar with yet. Anyway, yeah, Jim and Brian, appreciate you both. Thank y'all. So we do have, despite, Trump is doing some things that are helping. The tariffs have an immediate inflationary effect, but they bring jobs back. That's an incentive to companies to put jobs here. So I think, in the long term, I've done some videos on tariffs. I really think tariffs are a lot better than taxing your income. They're going to tax you one way or the other. You're going to lose the money one way or the other. I'd rather have it coming out of something where I got to make a decision to buy it rather than involuntarily ripping it out of my pocket. You know what I mean? So the other thing is that all this moving of immigrants out of the country, I've just seen reports that rents are going down. Now, one guy who actually covered this on YouTube was Steve Poplar. I like Steve Poplar. I consider him a friend. I've had some good chats, personal chats. He's a good man, and he just put a video out, In fact, I watch his channel more than any other channel. If I watch another channel, the only time I really get time to watch YouTube is when I'm eating. Every time else, I'm reading articles. So, there's some other channel. Hey, we got a great super chat. Wow. Thank you, sir. CF Dooley. Wow, I'm impressed. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Dooley. CF Dooley. Wow. Thank you, sir. That really helps. Now, if that was to continue, we can keep that up. Then definitely the YouTube would work for me. But I am looking at fallbacks. I'm looking at other ways. I know the Social Security isn't going to be enough. There's just no way. So I mean, especially if we get into a big inflationary period. Like I said, Donald Trump's doing some things to try to get the inflation down right now, but there are a lot of other pressures that can drive it to the moon. And that's what I was covering in that video I put up on Green Greg's about the 8 things that could get us. So we just got to be very aware of what's coming at us. That's why I put that video up. Tom Murray says it could all be destructed in the next administration. That's the other thing, true. That is the other thing. If the Democrats come back in, now Trump has worked around where he has a lot of power. If a Democrat become president with those kind of powers, watch out. I would be scared, absolutely scared. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm not giving up my nugs. Yeah, those are early Christmas gifts. Ho, ho, ho. Santa appreciates it. Yes, absolutely. So, wow, awesome. That is great. But, it really cheers me up tonight quite a bit. So, yeah, there are just a lot of expenses here, a lot of things to do. I'm trying to get this homestead rolling, and it costs money. It's not cheap, but I got some debts to pay down. I've got to get myself better positioned, but it takes time. It takes time, and I'm working on it. But uh, at least I don't have a mortgage, but I don't have home insurance either. If my home burned down, I'll be living in my van. I won't rebuild, probably, unless good fortune follows me somehow. So I just got my fingers crossed and pray. That's all I can do is pray. Sometimes that's what you got to do, guys. I was shocked my log barn I built in Alabama burnt down. I've done a ton of videos by that log barn, and I built it before I started YouTubing. And I got some old videos of working on it, but not enough to really show how to do it. It's just a couple little clips that didn't even show some of the biggest challenges we had. That was a major project on that log barn. Because I had big logs we hoisted up high, 12 foot, I mean, giant logs. And that was interesting. It was a ton of work to do all that down by the river. Yeah, I might be living in my van. Here we don't have any rivers. We got washes. I'll be the man in the van down by the wash. I do have a wash. Big. I got some washes on my property here. I do have 40 acres here. So, I got to figure out how, to make a living here. I don't want to get into something where I got to hire help like I did in Alabama. But, if the day job goes in, then I'll have more time to work on it directly myself. I was hiring help, so I had tremendous credit card debt from an ex-girlfriend who ran away with my cards and ran to the moon. I got stuck with the credit where it was cards actually held. She actually went in and applied for credit and forged my name and had the card sent to some mailbox that I didn't know about. Boy, that woman was something. Holy smoke. I got out of those, but I didn't get out of the main chunk of debt. And because of that, I put a warrant out for her arrest and she fled the state. It was that bad. The woman fled the state. Crazy stuff. Sold me 10 what? If I was no accident. Yeah, I wonder about that. I really wondered about that, guys. Sun Tzu Lao down by the Russia. I really wonder about that. But my barn burnt. And, psychologically, that was a gut punch because I loved that barn. I built it on my own hands. And I loved that barn, that big old log barn. It was a huge one. When I grew up, we had a log barn, and my brothers tore it down. I was not happy with that. What are those balls called that will put out a fire? I don't know, stray kitten. Balls that will put out a fire. You know, some balls of water, maybe. I don't know. They say that thing burnt like crazy. Huge fire. And the fire department went out there and they dumped thousands of gallons on it. I had the reports on it one time, and it restarted 3 times. They had to come back 2 more times. So, yeah, we trust God. You'll be fine. That's it. You got to put some faith in God, and I do. Uh, it was a skit. John Candy, I think. Oh, John Candy did some funny stuff. I love the one where Canadian bacon. Uh, he was like an American sheriff from, one of the northern counties that bordered Canada, and he was trying to provoke a war with Canada. So he went up into Toronto and spread out a garbage can full of garbage. Now, if you've never been to Toronto, people from the South normally, like where I was from, normally wouldn't get that, except I spent some time in Toronto, and I knew that was the cleanest deadgum city I'd ever seen. It was clean as a whistle. So, the Canadians would take great offense to that. The funny thing was, John Candy was actually Canadian. So him to play an American actor trying to get Canada attacked us, that was just kind of humorous. Bob Steger. Sunspot, baby. Yeah, we may have some sunspots. Yeah, she built it back better. Um, well, I just have to say, I'd be living. I lived in my van for a year out here. The first half year that I was out here in 2023, uh, building, starting this place, and then off and on as I was moving stuff back and forth. And even Alabama, I moved all my stuff out of my house, and I lived in a van, even in my own driveway there, because I took all the stuff out of the house. So I was there in a van for a while. Then I came back here. This was a complete first came here, and so for about 3 more months, I stayed in the vans, and mostly in my big white van that I called Candy, and then I stayed in my red van that I called Cherry. So some too. So I've stayed in a minivan and a custom van. So I've got a bit of experience living in a van. It is a lot better to live in a tiny home than a van. I'll grant you that. But I'll do what I got to do. I don't have the money to buy a full up house. I'm at the end of my career, guys. It looks like, unless I can get something else going. Uh, but I think fallbacks. I think ahead, and that's what I'm doing. I'm thinking ahead. I know that if I can do the worm, some worms myself, then there's good money in worms. There really is. But you got to scale it according to what you can personally do. I did pretty well at worms when I started out. It's just that I was too reliant on labor, and it really wiped me out. Was it difficult or costly to get any needed permits for your Arizona homestead? Well, there's some tricks we play. That's all I'm going to say. There's a lot of homestead requirements here. Mel Gibson quote, "For what it's worth, uh, it is the past." Okay, yeah. Greg for president. Whew, I don't know if I'd want to deal with Washington. I have ran the halls of Congress, though, guys. I have. I've not been in the White House, but I've been in the Capitol building. I've been through all the Congress office buildings many times because I was chairman of the policy committee of the National Space Society, and we had some major impact on things. Major impact. Basically, well, I won't go into it tonight. It's not a subject for this channel. Maybe we'll do it over on Galactic Grids. But they're called fire extinguisher balls. Okay. What are they? Balls of water? What are they? They got some chemicals in them. Well, you put different things on different kinds of fires. Put water in a lithium fire, you're asking for trouble. That just make it burn worse. Uh, Now, one thing I've always done in my kitchen when I'm cooking, I always kept a big box of of baking soda in my refrigerator right next to the stove. And if I got a pan fire on the stove, I just reach in and grab the baking soda and dump it on it, Never get excited about it because I knew I had the antidote to it right there, readily at hand. A lot of people panic. Ah, no, baking soda will knock a grease fire out in the snap. It's great. Uh, the world needs you. Well, thank you there, God's plan. Appreciate that. I've got some things that I'm trying to work up. I got some concepts I want to work up. I'm ready for president. Well, yeah, the system would not want to see me running for president. They would do everything in the world to stop it. Here's what's crazy. I'm thinking about that. Uh, they would probably create all kind of AI crap about me. They may do it anyway just because they don't like me. uh, Avi Loeb had somebody copied him and made a YouTube channel, and it made it like it was him talking, and it sounded like him. It looked like him. It used the kind of language he would use, except it said things that he never said. I knew it wasn't him. But holy smoke, it was totally believable. It was so good. It was like, well, Avi Loeb protested and YouTube finally took that channel down, but they put out dozens of videos. And it was insane how good the quality of the AI was in that case. It was believable that people would think it was him. So I knew the kind of things he was saying, actually saying, where he actually stood, the points he was actually making. And this channel went way off and left field beyond that. And I knew it was not Avi Loeb. But, you know, just look how far we've came in the last 3 years in AI videos. I mean, we went from stuff that looks stupid to in pictures. You get a picture made, and everybody have 6 fingers or be missing an arm, just dumb stuff. But AI today is just when it comes to picture making and videos, it's wah. But the problem is, it's going to get to the point you won't know what's real and what's not real, and there's some risk in that. A lot of people are getting full. Oh, you saw that? Hey, Soul's how you doing? Good to see you in the house. Yes. So's Jules, my first mod. You saw that. Yeah, it was crazy. It was insane. I mean, I knew right off it wasn't real, but it was so good. It was like, so where are they going to be next year with this kind of video? I mean, they won't make videos that you would believe is that person. So it's getting to the point, you can't even believe your eyes anymore with the kind of stuff they're coming out with. It sounded like him, talked like him. It used the right kind of language, the inflections. Now I've seen some other videos that weren't quite as good on YouTube. Uh, it's probably the person that made their own videos and used the AI avatar themselves. But the head only moved one way, and occasionally you see a little skip. So I go, oh, okay, that's AI. But AI will be beyond all that. AI video is made such dramatic changes in such a short time. Now, I think that's one of the biggest threats of AI is its capacity to fool people. Its capacity to be used by people that are of ill intent. And it won't be the AI itself. I do not believe AI can become sentient, at least not in its current form, unless a demon gets in the machine. uh, there is this statue that speaks in Revelations, and I think that's probably going to be a humanoid robot. So, actors and actresses may not have jobs the same because of AI. That could be. But, I think a lot of people, though, will be turning to creators that they know are real. Because right now there's a lot of channels on YouTube that are putting out stuff, and they'll have just a cartoon character and all that. There's some prepping channels like that, and now there's been just a ton of them released. And maybe what's making it hard on us real people that are out here trying to bring you real content is these guys are just using AI to write the script. They're using AI to draw the video, and everything's AI. The person behind it may not know jack diddle about the topic they're actually producing videos on. They're just going entirely on what AI sounds. And it sounds kind of good on the surface, and it makes points, but it can also create great errors. It can say things that are just plain not true and get you in trouble. So you got to be careful with when AI is making the content. If there's not some person to edit it and overlook it and say, no, that's not right. You know, so when you come to a channel where you got somebody like me talking to you, you know, at least it's coming from a real human being or maybe a human. Yeah, like a bean you eat. That's what I was trying to say. Bean. Anyway, let's see. I'm find something. Find it. Pull up. I had a photograph somewhere that I thought was kind of funny and that really kind of summarized AI. Let's try and find it. There we are. Uh, top frame. Somebody's holding a mushroom. The AI says, and they're saying, "Is this mushroom edible?" Oh, and well, they asked, "Is the mushroom edible?" And the AI says, "Yes." And then it shows the person in a grave, RIP. You know how AI, I've had to make mistakes several times and I've corrected and always had some goofy way of coming back. And it's just like this. So the guy's in the grave and the AI is telling the guy in the grave, "You're right. That mushroom was poisonous. I'm sorry for the confusion. Would you like to learn more about poisonous mushrooms?" That is a lot of what you get. You know, AI does hallucinate. And now they're wanting to use AI to train AI. So you got hallucinating systems to train systems that's going to hallucinate. I think that sounds like you're on the downhill side of things, but that's another story. I use AI for a lot of things. My concern is people are isolating themselves, and AI is all they talk to. AI psychosis is very, yeah. And what about the people that like marry AI? They'll be marrying robots. They get in love with a chatbot. A chatbot doesn't have any consciousness. It doesn't know what it's saying. All the impressive looking language it spits out at you is done through massive computing power because what it does, words and phrases are tokens. And they got all these tokens in the system, and it's trained to associate one word may associate with other words. And if you use two or three words, then that association sphere tightens down. And it's just crazy, you know, how they actually do it, how they actually process it. It's a very long, convoluted process. It's not like you and I directly think stuff. It's not thinking, it's just processing stuff and using probabilities of associations. It can do amazing stuff with it just because there's so much raw computer power that it uses. And it does the same thing in picking pixels. I assume this picture making fun of AI was drawn by AI. It looks just like an AI picture. So that's funny. Uh, I, I was the owner of an Atari 5200. There you go. How much longer will any video evidence be misquoted? I don't know. It's the faking of stuff is getting off the charts. I mean, so far stuff has been where, you know, forensic people with great analysis can look at something, but it'll get to the point you can't do that. And it may be the point that photographic evidence will no longer be admissible. And that's a shame because they will use photographs to attack people. And you can bet, look what's going on with the left right now. They are going after people. Look what happened to Charlie Kirk. What about the lady Ellie over at Brown University? Was it because she was vice president of the Republican Club for the university? There's some allegations that might have been a Palestinian that did it, so there might have been a different motivation involved. I don't know. You ever watch Steve? What's his name? Turley Talks on YouTube. I'm going to say Steve Turley. That's not his first name, but anyway, uh, he covers some interesting points at times. Um, but she loves you. She love you. Yes. Oh my goodness. AI is not going to take half your stuff on the way out. No, but somebody using it might. If you get a prank call, don't talk. Yes. Bingo. That's the new advice. I take call. There's calls on my phone all the time. I don't pick it up. If I don't know who it is, I don't pick it up and go to the answer machine. But they're filling up my answering service now, so I have to go and delete a bunch of stuff. I'm getting my phone just Anyway, and it's a bunch of people want me to borrow money or something, want me to consolidate my loans, which I need to do that. But I'm not going to take somebody from a call over the phone that I don't know diddle squat and then give them my personal protective information. That's just asking to be hacked. And all this stuff with hyperlinks. A lot of people are sending around a lot of stuff with hyperlinks. I don't click on those hyperlinks. You download a Trojan. You got to be careful out here these days, guys. And email will make it look like it's coming from a legitimate source, like you missed your payment or you got this great opportunity. No, 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 no. You got to really, really watch it now. What you put on your computer, on your computer. Uh, emails, they got so many different ways to go fishing after you with emails. It's not funny. It is not funny. They're out to hack you everywhere they can. But now, see, there's a new, there'll be a breed, just like people that took out Charlie Kirk, there'll be a new breed of hacker coming out. They're already out there. And they'll start coming after individuals that are on the other side of the spectrum from them. So I'm definitely on one side of the spectrum, and I think most people know it. So I expect, stuff will happen. I mean, look how many times, though, they try to actually take Trump out. And it's amazing he survived, as Jimmy Williams pointed out earlier, and that's correct. So it's amazing he survived. Uh, what do you guys think? Do y'all like Trump's speech? If you liked it, put a 2 in the chat room. If you didn't, put a 1 in the chat room. I'd like to see what y'all think about the speech he gave us tonight. When I thought he would say something about Venezuela, but he's really just trying to make points of the accomplishments he's made over the past year. But did you like it? If you did, 2. If you didn't like it, a 1. We're not going to stay in here a lot longer. We've been here 61 minutes. And we've, a long ways down, less likely anybody's going to be to watch it later. And we're going to do our egg count. We're going to go. So as I didn't like it. Okay. Daniel liked it. God's plan didn't like it. Bedtime for Bonzo liked it. Okay, for those that didn't like it, if you don't mind, tell us what bugged you. You don't have to, but if you like to say, go ahead. Stray Kent was indifferent. Yeah, if you don't mind. Hey, Wendy, how you doing, Wendy? Good to see you. Yeah, he just talked about his economic track record, Wendy. He didn't talk anything about what's going on in Venezuela. Surprised a lot of us. Not what I was expecting. Same here, Carol. Same here. Not what I was expecting. Jeanette Laffey. How you doing, Jeanette? Yeah, it was different. I already thought we was going to have a going to war talk. And that's not what it was. So we may have another press release here real soon. I would expect before you commit a major military. Well, maybe not because you need the element of surprise if you're going to attack typically. But sometimes what they'll do is they'll they will have an attack schedule and they will start the attack. Then they'll come on live and go, "Oh, we just made a move," but they might schedule the talk before they actually start dropping bombs. All right. Hey, Merry Christmas to you, Wendy. Appreciate that. And Wendy's a real down to earth homesteader, guys. She's got a good channel. So I recommend it if y'all get a chance to watch her. I'm good here in California. Well, what I did talk about how your energy costs are going to go out the roof soon because of Valero and Chevron and Phillips 66. Some of these guys are leaving California. They're shutting down refineries thanks to Gruesome Newsom. So, yep. Hey, CF Dooley, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir, for the wondrous super chat. That is amazing. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate everybody that's been here. So, bedtime for Bonzo. Brian, thank you, Brian Perendi. Jimmy Williams, thank you, sir. And I'm glad no Rex sent you this way. And a whole lot of our people in here came from Leak Project and also from uh, Oppenheimer Ranch Project. We got a good fair number of people from that. You're still cold. Oh, Lord, Wendy. Do you need any help, Wendy? Guys, if you're in the Northwest, I just got stuff from Chewy Weather earlier showing a tree went through a house of somebody he's associated with not far from him. They're talking 70, 80-mile-an-hour winds. Trees are being blown down from the coast all the way up to the Cascadia. And they're having a tough time out there. Rain, and now they got this new river of water coming at them. There's going to be colossal snow up in the mountains. Cold all day and dehydrated. Wendy, is there anything we can do for you, Wendy? Dehydrate. You need water? Hey, before we go, let's say, well, we got to do the egg guess here in a minute, but let's say a prayer for Wendy first. Let's say a prayer for Wendy and all these people who are dealing with weather issues. We're a family here. Let's do a quick prayer, guys. And Wendy, if there's something that we can do for you, let us know. That's what he's saying. 70-mile-an-hour winds this morning. Blew my chicken houses over. Oh, good Lord, that would be horrible. I'm warming up and trying to hydrate. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. All right, Wendy. You know, we probably got some people on the channel that's close to you if we need to get word out somehow. And if you need to email me, my email is greg@greengregs.com. So, I got a website, greengregs.com. I need to update it for delete the phone numbers and the old address and everything else. I'm not done that yet, but my email that's on that is still good. So, lost one of your chickens. Well, I imagine Solzad Jules has had some issue with chickens where chicken houses blew over. Pray for Cha Cha. She's living in Washington State. Oh, wow. She went through a fire. And now she's dealing with this. All right, folks. Remember that when you go to bed tonight. Remember to pray for Cha Cha. She's been through it already. She's been through the ringer. The girl has had a tough time. And she's, incredible character about her. So, good point. Uh, okay. Well, if you need anything, reach out through Roy. Roy knows how to get in contact with me by phone, text, email. Roy can get in contact with me up one side and down the other. Lordy. And I believe our good friend Jason. How far are you from Tulsa, Wendy? Hey, New Days. Good to see you in the house. We're wrapping up now. Wendy's Hardneck Farms is having some challenges. Cha Cha is in a place where the wind's blowing like crazy. So we did a little prayer already. We probably need to pray again. I just told everybody just pray at night when you go to bed here. Pray, prep, and pray. God bless. Amen. That's right, Cornelius. And thank you for all the great information. I try to bring good information. All right, guys, let's do the egg guess. How many eggs did I get today? First person guess the right number gets it. Roy's amazing. Yes, he is. Roy's a good guy. Real good guy. About an hour from Tulsa. Well, maybe Jason can get to you if you need something. He and his wife, Wendy, are in Tulsa. How many eggs today? How many eggs? How many eggs we got? Is Cha Cha in the house? 722. Which is 394. Keep guessing. Keep guessing. How many eggs I get today? Keep guessing. Wow, last time I did this. Hey, there we go, Tommy. Tommy Fury. You got it. Tommy Fury got it. 4. We got 4 eggs today. 4 eggs, Tommy. Got it. Here they are. There's the 4 eggs. And this one, my Easter egg, one of my Easter eggers laid. You see that one kind of a bluish greenish color? We got 4 eggs today. And one's from one of my Easter egger hens. They've not been laying too much lately. The Easter eggers hadn't, but I've got about 4 Easter eggers. There's days it's 0, Arnold, but we got 4 today. 4. I don't know why the video on this stopped for some reason. That's odd. Alrighty, folks. I'm so close. Yeah, you were. You were. You were. When you the one said 5, but you also said 394. Had a 4 in it. Hey, 4X is great, for this time of the year. Because they slack down on laying. So that's more than I'll eat in a day. And most I'll eat in a day is 3, and sometimes it's usually 2. I'll never eat 4 eggs in a day. All righty. 2 digits off. Well, I think you had a 4 in there. What, 394 or something like that? What you said? All right. Hey, Carol, appreciate it. All righty, folks. So once again, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to my super chatters. Let me just make sure somebody's not. Sometimes we got somebody that's in the room that gives to me through my website, because we got some people that work. And let me check that before we go, because if there's anybody else to give credit to, it definitely want to give credit. Let me check my email. Where's it at? Where'd it go? Dun, 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 dun. There it is. Dun, 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 dun. Not tonight. We've had 2 generous gifts lately from Kim Possible through the email. So, Merry Christmas to everyone. Amen. Merry Christmas to everyone. It's coming. We had 70-mile-an-hour wind this morning. Okay. All right. Let's scroll back up. Let's see here. So once again, I want to thank Brian Perendi, Bedtime for Bonzo. Thank you, sir. I want to thank Jim Williams the third. Thank you, sir. He gave 20. And then CF Dooley gave a $100 super chat tonight. Wow. Thank you, sir, very much. Thank you all. I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank y'all for being here tonight. Y'all are awesome. We're family. I'm okay. Just a flare up from tick disease. Oh, I'm cold, but hydrating. I love you guys. Best ever. There you go. We love you too. So, Soul's Eye, good night to you. So, folks, like I said, thank you, all you super chatters. Thank you, mods, for keeping the channel clean, straight. Thank you, everyone, for watching, for being here tonight. To one and, well, I'll say to one and all, a good night, good day, wherever you are. Merry Christmas. Come back soon, Greg. Y'all come back now, you hear? Take your shoes off. Set a spell. Yes, buddy. That's the way folks used to talk where I grew up. Anyway, thank you. Thank y'all so much. And if I don't see you again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I assume I'll be back on here before that rolls around, maybe a few times, but we'll see. Life can get interesting. Keep cha-cha in your thoughts. We'll do that. Everybody, let's say a prayer tonight for her specifically. She's family to us, and everybody else up in the Northwest that's seen this onslaught, including Chew Weather. I don't see him in the house right now. He sent me some scary pictures earlier. Hey, Boo Radley, we're about to go. We're about to go. You will catch us on the rewind because we've been on for 74 minutes, an hour and a quarter. So, yep, say your prayers for Cha-Cha tonight. Absolutely. And say one for Chewy Weather. He's up in Oregon. So I think he might have been on my last video over on Galactic Gregs. So check that out. And I do want to, we got on there. Soul's Eye. Joel's good to see you in the house. Hey, I got both of my original mods. My 2 original mods are in the house tonight. That's amazing. All righty, folks. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate you all. And yeah, you caught us tail end. I've already been in for 74 minutes, but you can catch it on the rewind. You can rewind and watch it from the beginning. Love it if you do that. Everybody leave some comments below. Hit the thumbs up on your way out. We do everything we can to help the algorithms because the platforms definitely don't love me. All right, well, let's see if there's some kind of herbal things for that. I don't know. Anyway, guys, once again, just thank you all for being here. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.